A lot of people say they found Islam in their darkest days. I found Islam in my best days. Alhamdulillah, I live something I've coined a custom-made reality. My family, healthy. I'm blessed with healthy children and good relationships. I have fantastic, meaningful work. I run numerous consultancy in other companies where I work with great people solving real problems. I have fantastic relationships with brothers. Materially, I have more than I would ever need. I give zakat in a way that I'm quite proud of, even though I don't publicize it. I really do believe my life is ideal. Islam has added a whole nother level of fulfillment on top of that. So, yeah, I couldn't be more grateful, man. And I've heard people talk about the sort of state that I am as like the dawah high, when you're really enthusiastic about it. I don't think it's a fading thing. The more I learn about Islam, the more of a dawah high I have, the more enthusiastic I become. And those moments where you're reading something and you go, that click moment, that makes sense. So, for example, one quick one. For the longest of time throughout my life, I realized the underlying intent with which you approach an activity will directly impact the outcome. For example, if you're trying to get money and your underlying intent is you're desperate and you're coming from a place of scarcity, you do anything you can, you might get that money, but it's going to be a very rocky road. Whereas if your underlying intent for getting money is one of abundance and one of gratitude and one of I'm going to benefit the people I work with, so it's win-win. I'm not going to take from people. You will get that money in a much more steady and more abundant manner. That underlying intent is so important. Then in Islam, I read about something called niyyah. And the fact that we have a concept, whereas the intent with which you approach something, even, when you go and pray, you set your niyyah, you set the intent. And I'm like, hang on. This is something that's written hundreds of years ago that took me 35 odd years to figure out. If only I'd read it earlier. And I have dozens and dozens of examples like that where beliefs that I'd figured out through human experience, I find represented in texts written hundreds of years ago. That the amount of times I've had those moments where I'm like, that's what I thought, and here it is in this book, is remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. It's incredibly energizing, and I don't think my dawah high will ever fade. I think the more I learn, the more enthusiastic I'll get.
That's what people, they really get amazed that the fitrah, the human inclination, Islam comes and it fits like a glove. And if it hasn't been tainted so much. And do you see now, I've heard you talk about this, because a lot of people go away from man-made religions. You see people, a lot of different strange incantations, superstitions, worshiping the creation, things that just don't make sense. So people go away from religion, and a lot of people turn towards atheism. And you talk about this, them shooting themselves in the foot.
100%.
And how do we get them now, again?
I think it's tricky, because a lot of people, when they take these, whether it's atheistic beliefs or liberal beliefs, even though those belief systems are clearly not helping them in life, they have that ego attachment. I'm an atheist, therefore, I'm going to justify it in my mind. I think the ultimate question to anyone who says they're an atheist, how's that working out for you? How does your view, your atheistic belief system, benefit your life? Because I can talk for hours, and I happily will and have done, and we're doing right now. I can talk for hours about the benefits that Islam has brought me, both in terms of making me more fulfilled as a person, making me more disciplined and effective and able to better serve, my family, my colleagues, my society. What does atheism do to make you a better person? How does it give you, increased discipline? How does it give you increased energy to really go and be the best human that you can be? Because one day you will be judged. It doesn't. It doesn't bring any of those benefits. So, again, to any atheist out there, my simple question for you is, how is that working out for you? How is that benefiting your life? Because personally, I can talk for hours about how Islam has and is benefiting my life.